what do you do when you're 3,000 miles from New York and you're jonesing for some wings? Now, not just any wings, but New York Buffalo Wings. That's easy. Stop on by your nearest New York Buffalo Wings. Located in La Mesa, San Diego, and Imperial Beach, you're just minutes away from mild, hot, or make you cry like a baby hot sauce. Wings, fall off the bone ribs, and fire hot chicken tenders. To find the nearest New York Buffalo Wings, go to nywingsandribs.com. That's nyribsandwings.com. The Talk of San Diego would like to remind the viewing audience that this is Breast Awareness Month, and we here at the Talk of San Diego are doing our part for this very important cause.
Utilizing medical doctors, physical therapists, and chiropractors all working together to better your health, Silver Strand Spine and Sport is committed to providing the most personalized, integrative, and skilled physical therapy services available. With sensitivity and compassion, we work with our patients to promote physical rehabilitation in a professional and caring environment. Located on Palm Avenue in Imperial Beach, we offer South Bay the finest care for all your physical needs. For an appointment, call 619-575-8887.
Hi, Andrea.
Hello, Johnny.
Hey, we have quite a crowd in the background there, huh?
Oh, we do?
Yeah, standing room only. I understand the fire marshal had to kick some people out. Yeah, too
Really?
crowded. Too crowded.
How many?
A few.
A few.
Yeah, because they didn't get their tickets online. Yeah. Don't think you can just show up to the show and just think you can walk right in.
Like here?
Yeah, no. You have to get the wristband. You have to stand in line for like 5 hours.
Oh,
just
no.
to get in line. But there again, not the reason we stopped by, is it?
No.
No. You have a lovely lady standing next to you, don't you?
I do.
Would you like to introduce this young lady?
Well, hello there.
You met her earlier today, huh?
I did.
Yeah, tell people where you met her.
At the Museum of
Old Cars.
Old Cars.
I think it's called the J.
J.
It's the J.A. Cooley Museum.
Cooley.
Yes.
J.A.?
Yes.
See, Johnny got that wrong last time.
Can't forget the A. It's a very important part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
J.A.
So tell people, well, since Andrea won't introduce you, maybe you'll introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Anita Cooley. And if you
Anita.
can imagine, there's a little bit of relation there.
It sounds like nepotism.
A little bit, yes, yes.
So now we stopped by earlier to your museum to get a kind of like a behind the scenes so we
Yes.
know what we're talking about. And people are watching it right now when we're doing this, but you have some old cars in there, don't you?
We do. We've got about one or two of them.
How long have they been parked there? And do the owners know that they've been parked there that long?
Yes, they are, and they will notice if one of them is missing. But they've actually been there since 1996.
1996.
Yes, that's when my dad opened the museum. Before that, they were kind of scattered all over town, and a lot of them were in our garage back at home, and we were driving them to school and driving them all over the place. But then he decided he got tired of shuffling cars all over the place, so he bought the larger building up there on Park Boulevard, and then just stored all of his toys in it.
So he's always been interested in cars ever since he was younger?
He's interested in everything old. Anything old, he's interested in it. But most people do take a fondness towards the cars, just because you don't see 100-year-old automobiles very often anymore.
Yeah, I mean, one of them looked like a bike almost.
So if you're coming in there to think you're going to just see cars, you better think again, huh?
You might see a couple of other things while you're in there too.
You could spend a whole day in there, especially if you're like my age, and you say, a typewriter. Wow. Or a gramophone.
Yeah,
What?
absolutely.
Yeah, gramophone.
A gramophone?
Yeah, that's before the iPad.
Oh, like,
It was, well, it was the kind that you go around like this.
Yeah.
Right. And it had the big horn.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They crank it up like
Did you
that.
call it gramophone?
They called it a gramophone.
That's who makes it, yeah.
Gramophone, and every year they give away something for the best recording artist called a
Grammy.
There you go. That's
So
what
they
got.
called it phone after gramophone?
No, it's not an actual phone. He's actually talking about
It's not a phone.
phonograph.
Oh.
which is like the
But they
predecessor
called
to
it-
like a radio.
They call that a
It's a
gramophone.
predecessor to what you're doing.
Geez, Johnny.
Yeah. Get old, and then you'll know what I'm talking about.
But we do have some antique phones as well, if you want to do the rotary dial. We do have some of
Call
those.
Sarah down at the gig. You can do that.
I love the, what is it? It's not a record, but it has it's like a music box that has like a horn kind of looking thing.
That's
like a
what-
flower.
that's
the thing you're talking about.
It's a phonograph, yes.
Jeez.
We have
And you know when they
about-
hand out the Grammy, you know, it kind of looks exactly like that, but a lot smaller.
Really?
Yeah, that's where they got the idea for the Grammy. It's called a gramophone. Yeah.
But yeah, we have about maybe 40 or so on display, give or take. They're kind of scattered throughout the museum up there.
How much would you say is like average cost for them?
It really varies. It varies greatly. Where some of them might be maybe $200-300, where other more rare machines can
At
range
this
all the way
point,
up
it's
to
the
10,000
eye of the
20,000.
beholder.
Exactly.
Whatever they want to
There
pay
you
for
go.
it.
There
Yep.
you go.
Now, you don't just have cars, and you don't just have typewriters or gramophones, but you have trains.
We do. Absolutely.
I think he likes trains and airplanes.
We've
like-
got a couple of model
his
airplanes in there
favorite.
too.
I like planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yep.
We've got planes, we've got trains, and we do have automobiles as
I
well
know.
for you.
That's his favorite.
But these are all model trains you have up on the wall.
Yes, we do. There's maybe about 10 or 12 cases of antique trains, mostly ranging from like 19... Some of them are like 1900s and before, but most of them are probably 1920s to 1940s. A lot of Ives and a lot of Lionel for those train collectors out there that know what I'm talking about.
They certainly do. And they're going to be looking at that on the screen as well. But you can stick around and talk to us a little bit more about the J.A. Cooley Museum, correct?
I would love to.
Fantastic. Because we're going to take a break. We're out here at the Hip Cooks.
Yes, we are.
On North Park, off of El Cajon Boulevard and 30th. And we're going to take a break. This is Johnny
This is Andrea
with the talk.
of San Diego.
Always has to do that. Always has to climb.
When it's time to kick back and put the work week in the rearview mirror, then it's time to head on down to Ye Old Plank Inn, located at the very end of Palm Avenue in Imperial Beach. Ye Old Plank Inn is the place to hoist a cold one, or two, or five. Ye Old Plank Inn in Imperial Beach, make it your summer hotspot to cool down. With their heated patio, you'll have the best view of the stars just 100 yards from the beach. So make this your endless summer down at Ye Old Plank Inn, at the very end of Palm Avenue.
Guess what, Andrea?
You didn't answer me.
We're back. Well, I was waiting for us to come back. I just don't want to start talking, but no, you were talking about something, a beer bong and being under the table.
Beer pong.
Oh, beer pong.
Not beer bong.
Okay. Oh, okay, different. But you shouldn't know about that, should you? Unless you've gone to Canada, where the drinking age is 18,
Exactly.
or Wisconsin, where it's 18. But anyway, that's not the reason we called.
No.
Hey, guess what? We're out here at Hip Cooks.
Are we?
Yes, we are.
Really?
Yeah, you've been here for half an hour.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And you're speaking with a young lady from the J.A. Cooley Museum. And we're going to test your memory. And what's this young lady's name?
Wait,
What's her name?
it was a challenging one.
Yeah, yeah, really challenging.
No.
It's close. Anita.
Anita. See?
Okay.
So the
Anita.
the way you remember that Okay.
Anita.
Anita.
Anita. I got it.
And she does cars, right?
Anita.
Anita Carr. So, so now you'll be able to remember what her name is.
Got it.
So you're talking to, can I have a car today?
Anita.
Oh, Anita Carr, okay. And you're over there at the Cooley Museum. Now, how long have you been working at the museum?
I actually used to live in Denver, Colorado, and so back in September, I actually moved back to San Diego, which is where I was born and raised. So I came back in September to kind of get a lot more hands-on with the museum, and so I'm there Monday through Fridays. The museum's open Saturdays and Sundays, but I gotta have my weekends too.
Now, you take people on like a guided tour and you tell them about all the vehicles, or do you kind of let them catch as catch can when they're doing?
We actually do it both ways, where we absolutely welcome people to roam around as needed, but then we also do schedule like guided tours where a lot of car clubs and different community like organizations throughout San Diego will come down with like a group of 10, 20, 30 people, anything like that, and then we'll do like an actual guided tour for them.
Do you ever get a chance to take the cars out?
For a stroll.
For like parades and stuff like that?
Not very often. We used to, all of the cars in there can run and have run, but we don't take them out too often just because when you take them out, you tend to have more of a garage type smell in the museum because you have all of the oil and the gas and stuff like that. So the cars that are in the museum, we really just keep them in there for display. My dad does have some other antique automobiles that he doesn't have on display at the museum, and those are the ones he still plays with.
What's the oldest vehicle you have in there, the oldest one?
It would be actually the one that Andrea was thinking is like a tricycle. Not to be confused with a tricycle. It is an 1885 Benz, which would be Mercedes-Benz before Mercedes.
Like Robust before Sears.
You should
Exactly.
show a picture of that one.
I believe I had that on video.
I thought it was
Oh, and tell us about the time your dad.
Oh, well, there's, earlier when Andrea was at the museum, I was telling her about the 1913 Cadillac that we have on display up there.
100 years old.
Yes, it is. And
Exactly.
you would be amazed to know that before...
I could tell by the taillights.
That's what gave it away. Before we had it in the museum, my dad actually took it out for a road trip one day, and he had one of his friends drive a modern car in front of him just in case, the car breaks down or anything like that. We've got another form of transportation. And so at the end of the trip, my dad's friend's like, I can't believe you did that. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, you had that up at 80 miles an hour on the freeway back there, but you just don't even notice that you're going that fast in a car like that.
In a 1913 Cadillac.
Yes, it is.
80 miles an hour.
Speedometer.
Because there's no speedometer. Do they use the tachometer?
That I could not tell you.
All right, just checking. And if anyone wanted to buy any of these, are they museum pieces, not for sale, or do they typically, or from time to time, sell some of the...
Would you like one in your house?
I would love one of those. But one of the vehicles in there kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. It was like
The blue one.
Well, it was silver.
Yeah, no, he's talking about the concept car from General Motors. That's a 1994 concept car called the XP2000. That's a popular piece there. But basically, GM donated that to us after test driving the technology that car has up on the 15 freeway. They used the carpool lane before they opened up the carpool lane for general use. And so they actually put sensors in the road in that small stretch of freeway up there, and that car has nothing but sensors in it, and so it actually has the ability to drive itself. And they used that stretch of road back there in the mid-90s to test that technology. And then when that was all said and done, they decided to leave the vehicle at our establishment.
So other than that technology, it's just a stock car.
No, actually, it was very innovative for its time because it actually introduced a lot of the things we see now as far as keyless entry, park assist, heads-up display, like all of that type stuff was what was being tested at that time.
But that's not in that car. heads up, you see it in the windshield and all that kind of stuff? Wow.
Absolutely.
I just looked at that as, hey, how'd this car get in here? But you can't tell a car by its cover, can
No,
you?
it has more technology than you would know what to do with. Than we even know what to do with.
And what is your favorite piece there?
I'm a little partial, where I would have to say it's the 1907 brush that we have on display, which is an actual, it's not like a hairbrush. It's an
That's
actual,
what I was thinking.
It's an actual car. There used to be a car company called the Brush Motor Company, and that's actually my favorite because it's mine. So.
How did you end up with that?
Well, my father gave it to me when I was 16 if I agreed not to actually drive until I was 18. So I thought it was a pretty good deal at the time.
And what year is this car?
It's in 1907.
So your dad gave you a 1907 car when you were 16 years old.
Yes.
And that had to have been like in 1995?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, I figure.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
Go
So-
figure. And does it run on regular gasoline? Run on diesel? Just
Nope, it
what do you
runs on
think?
gas.
Wow. How fast can you get that one going?
That one we haven't had up too far as speed goes. I would probably say we've done it maybe at like 30, 40 miles an hour.
But
How
you were
many
like
times?
you were like a teenager when you got that car.
Yes.
And so you're driving around as a teenager.
No, because I couldn't drive until I was 18.
Well,
if
yeah.
I
You're still a
accept-
teenager, though.
Yeah, you're 18, 19. Yeah, so but basically you're
I know all
driving
the
around
rules.
in a car that's 90 years old at that time.
Not really,
Yeah.
because when I was 18, I actually got a modern car, and
Oh,
I
okay.
would take that.
Oh,
Right.
But we have taken the brush out. I mean, that was one of the cars that we drove a lot when I was younger.
Well, that's very cool. Now people can go to the website
Absolutely, it's
positively
JACooleymuseum.org.
and spell that Cooley because most people might not get it right.
It is COOLEY.
.org.
Yes.
Okay. And anybody can come down there Monday through Friday, every day of the week.
Absolutely.
But
We're
you're not
open-
there every day of the week.
No, you can only see me Monday through Fridays.
Right. And now your dad, he's probably quite the historian if you want to come in there and he'll sit there and talk to you for hours and hours and hours, right?
Absolutely. He is the storyteller there. So if you ever want a good story, by all means, he will be sitting up there waiting for you.
That is the place to go. So now, getting back to the trains, is that stuff for sale? The stuff up on the wall? All that?
Everything in the museum, for the most part, is part of his personal collection.
Right.
And so...
That's when you walk in, you got to pay. But the other up on
Oh yeah, no, that's actually Frank the Train Man, which is also my parents' business, and that's actually been in San Diego since 1943.
Right. So they're both kind of the same place, kind of.
They're both owned by my parents.
Right.
Yes.
And so, like, you can buy stuff there,
Absolutely.
all train stuff. So you got your HO.
Yes.
You've
you
got your-
O gauge, G gauge. We've got a little bit in scale too. We've got a little bit of everything.
And now, do you go to train shows and stuff like that, like when they have them at the convention center, or
Not
all the
too
time?
often, no.
But people know Frank the Train Man.
Everybody does.
Everybody knows Frank the Train Man.
When you've been around for close to 70 years, yeah, people know you.
Fantastic. So, tell people your address one more time.
We are located at 4233 Park Boulevard, which is just shy of the corner of Park Boulevard and El Cajon.
And the phone number?
619-295-1611.
Outstanding. Well, Anita, we certainly appreciate the time that you took out to come down and be on our show. We love that. And I hope that you had fun.
Absolutely, it was a pleasure. I
Positively.
appreciate you guys inviting me down here.
Thank you, my dear. And this is Johnny
This is Andrea
with the talk.
of San Diego.